Hello again, everybody. So first of all, I'd like to apologize for being gone randomly. I got sick twice in a row, and it was not good on my throat, so I couldn't talk or do any commentary, and I didn't want to post a non-talking video because I want to talk. I want to talk about what I'm doing. And before I talk about anything else, I just want to say that I am absolutely baffled as to how I got more than 600, a little over 600 subscribers just from 2 videos. I can't. Wow. Thank you so much. It's a little overwhelming, but it's a good way. But yeah, I thank you guys so much for supporting me so much. Even some of my friends and watchers from DeviantArt came to support me, and I really appreciate it. It's amazing. Thank you so much. But in this video, I would like to actually just talk about the general idea and story of KnightClan and what happened to them. Basically, I just want to ramble. Just ramble and talk about them. It's not really gonna be scripted too much, but I have the general idea, and maybe in the background it'll be me drawing or something. I don't want to make a boring black screen or anything, and I will do that. As you know already, that what I explained in the last videos, Flaxengate is a city that is located in the kingdom of Verdant. It's basically this is where the king lives, and the people of Flaxengate adored cats, and it was overall a very friendly, kind kingdom or city. The cats didn't really know much about what was going on outside the kingdom other than their own city, but there wasn't any fight for power or anything in the cats community. It was just they were living quite richly, actually, even though you could basically say there was an overpopulation of cats, but the city itself was quite wealthy, so they could afford to indulge in their obsession with cats. And Little Knight, which is where the whole entire story starts, is King Leoric's cat. King Leoric adopted Little Knight when she was a kitten, found her on the streets of Flaxengate. Since he was a very young prince. And so they grew up together, and they have an extremely close bond. And I'm sorry if you can hear that, my cat is making noise. But anyway, so the cats of Flaxengate treated Little Knight as their own ruler, like their own little king or queen. And although Little Knight had lived a cozy life in the castle, she was a wise and noble cat. She was soft-spoken and kind. And so, as the later days gone by, Little Knight is about mid to older at this point, and she had begun to notice that her king, her owner, had started becoming more grey by the day, even though he was still a young and strong man. King Leoric's eyes became dark and his face became pale and aged, and she couldn't understand why. And then Little Knight began to have dreams, these strange dreams of a foreign place. She didn't understand the dreams. She couldn't understand what they were saying in the dreams. She would hear voices, but it sounded not like... You can't say English, as in, it doesn't sound like a cat speaking. It sounds like reversed speaking, if you will. But it seemed that these dreams started with green fire and ended with her going to sleep. And she couldn't understand what that meant. This has been going on for a few weeks, but she mostly chalked it up to the stress that seeing her king become the way he is and will be. But one night, Little Knight was sleeping, but was awoken by a strange scent. When she opened her eyes, she found herself in a dark green area. She was in the middle of massive greenery, and she got up and she followed the scent of what woke her up, and she found herself at a cliffside, and she looked down at a massive, ominous world, and in the distance she saw a mountainous, cat-like creature. The creature lowered its head towards Little Knight, and all it said was, "Leave." Little Knight was confused as to what the creature was talking about, and the creature said that darkness will come if she does not leave the kingdom, as the kingdom will perish. Little Knight still demanded what the creature was talking about, and the creature said that the life of her kingdom has reached its final day, and it will be her turn to lead a new kingdom. And the mighty cat lifted its head towards the dark sky, its massive height disturbing the dark clouds above. And white glossy thorns emerged from the darkness beyond the creature, the thorns resembling a row of white peaks, though they did not sit upon the ground but hovered in the sky, slowly getting closer to the creature, seemingly without it realizing. Then 100 green orbs appear around the white peaks. A quiet yet bone-rattling growl traveled through the air. Finally, the towering cat-like creature turned its head towards the white peaks, and in an instant, its head was severed from its long neck as the glossy peaks clamped its massive jaws around it. The cat's head crashed into the ground with a massive earthquake. The gargantuan creature took to the starless sky, winged like a bat, but the body of a snake and the head of a wolf. The chimerical creature screeched into the darkness with anger and green fire. Before it had gotten to Little Knight, she blinked her eyes and found herself gazing into a warm red fire. Little Knight had been shaken up, and so sat in her owner's lap to calm herself down. The appearance of the outlandish monster shook her thoughts, and she wondered what the big creature meant. Later that morning, Little Knight was walking across the railing of the bridge towards her favorite place, the southward balcony. As she was approaching the balcony, she noticed a large tapestry on the wall, depicting the same creature she had dreamt about. She wondered if the people of Flaxengate saw this creature before, or if it was only a drawing or a myth. She concluded that she had subconsciously noticed the picture on the wall, which is what made her dream of it. And so Little Knight decided to spend her day as she usually does, and went to the market and conversed with some of her subjects, if you will. And so the day went by normally, though the thought of the creature, the sound of its voice, and the bone-rattling sound was still lingering in her mind. So night came, and little Knight went to sleep by her usual spot by the fire. But suddenly, the same bone-rattling noise woke her from her slumber, and she opened her eyes and couldn't see anything. She could smell the smoke from the fire and had concluded that it had burned out. So she heard the people outside yelling and screaming. And so she ran to one of the windows and looked outside, and all she could see was green fire. And she could do nothing but watch as it enveloped her kingdom almost entirely. And it all went by in a flash. Suddenly in the morning, while the fires were still blazing, the green fires, she walked among the people of her city and could not find her king anywhere. He was completely gone. She sat in silence by herself for a long time. She grieved the loss of her entire kingdom. A massive, thriving city suddenly void of life by some otherworldly, dreamlike creature that could not possibly be real. But this loneliness did not cease, as she had not woken up from this nightmare, which only concluded her to think that, of course, this is real life. She survived by herself for a while. She caught the mice or the rats that would live in the city, or sometimes even birds in the trees. And one day, one of her old friends, Shining, walked up to her with a somber smile. She was so happy to see that there was somebody else other than her own self in the city. And Shining had led Little Knight to a group of the cats that had survived the attack. And so together they all formed a group that they decided to name KnightClan. And Little Knight had told them about the dream that she had, and they all concluded that there is something bigger than them going on here. And whatever may come to them, whatever may happen, they will conquer the evil that had destroyed their kingdom. And they did not doubt that creature of darkness that would come back for the last remaining survivors. So that is how KnightClan came together, and soon they will find out that they were correct in thinking this is much bigger than them, and that creature is not finished wreaking havoc just yet. And the darkness will return. All the green fire will return. And so that's the general idea of what happened to Flaxengate and how KnightClan came to be. developing the story is so fun. It's nice to indulge in my love for fantasy and medieval fantasy, and having other people interested in it as well. It's very nice. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to express my love for this stuff with you. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the synopsis, I guess, the plot line of the origin of KnightClan, and maybe sometime in the future I will talk about the aftermath, or the big story, the return of the dragon, the return of the chimera, whatever they may call it. What would they call it? Would they say dragon? I don't think they know what a dragon is, but she said chimerical. I don't know. Well, what do you think? What do you think the cats would call a dragon? Or chimera, or whatever they think it is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this hopefully interesting reading or story time, I guess. And I hope to be back next week. I want to develop this story so much. You will see. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and before I end the video, I got the sound effects and the ambiance and all that from freesound.org. I just edited them to make them slower or lower pitched, and I will be crediting every single sound that I used in the description to the best of my ability, and hopefully you will be able to find any if you want to use them as well. But yeah, until next time, bye bye.